I'm a little perplexed by this decision, that what they did. I just, I, players like Lamar don't fall off trees, and I don't understand what they're doing, and maybe I'm a little too pro player, but I'm just like, pay the man. Like what, like, I just don't understand what's going on. So maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I don't, understand, but please talk to us. Tell me what your initial reaction is, and just what do you think is going on in Baltimore?
So first things first, well, a lot is missing here. We don't know what the Ravens offered Lamar. We don't know what Lamar's line is in terms of what he's willing to take. So there's that. They both agreed that they weren't going to have these conversations to the media. So they've been pretty private about that. And a lot of this has been speculation, although Lamar did tease last year that it was somewhere between 160 and 180 million guarantee in total guarantees that he was offered. That was last year. So, at first when this non-exclusive tag came out, it was very like, wow, I didn't think that they'd do that, right? Because you run the risk of someone else coming in and saying, hey, I got a lot of money and I can upfront a lot of this money to give to you, and I can make it an offer that the Ravens simply cannot match because they don't have the cap space. Well, then shortly thereafter that the Ravens said that they're doing a non-exclusive tag, you start to see, the apples starting falling from the tree, and it's immediate. The Falcons said that they weren't doing it, who obviously had the most cap space and are in need of a quarterback in a division that really has no quarterbacks. Well, prior to Derek Carr signing, let me be clear. And prior to that, they had nobody. I mean, Kyle Trask was the veteran, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he was backing up for Tom Brady. So they came out and said, we're not going for him. The Panthers came out, then the Raiders came out, although they tried to clean that up and say, oh, well, we're not out of any quarterback market. And then other teams like the Commanders and such followed. So you started seeing questions. And I myself asked that question, like, what is going on here? And it does feel like some type of collusion. The problem is that obviously you'd have to really, find evidence of that. And we don't know that. We don't know how any of this played out, right? But it feels that way because we know that the Panthers need a quarterback. We know the Falcons need a quarterback. We know the Raiders need a quarterback. The Commanders could use a quarterback. So this is very odd to me that those teams were the ones that came out and said, oh, no, we're not in the market for Lamar Jackson. Couple things, though. So I am in the lap of, I think that there is some collusion going on. Okay. There's another part of this that I think we don't talk about that maybe could be a possibility, in the fact that no other team wants to do the work for the Ravens. So the Ravens are allowing Lamar to talk to people and get his market value, and then they'll match it. Well, maybe there's a possibility that nobody wants to do the Ravens' dirty work for them either. And that they're saying, you on your own. If you want to situation out, you got to do that on your own. But I firmly believe, personally, and even Mike Florio, NBC affiliate, has said this, I truly believe that this really feels like the owners are sticking it to the NFLPA, not just Lamar Jackson. This is not a Lamar Jackson thing. Let me be clear. I think that the owners are sticking it to the PA, saying, we are not going to allow you guys to set the market. We're the owners. We're going to set the market. And because Lamar doesn't have representation, it's easy for it to be him that unfortunately gets the fall in all of this.
And that was going to be my question. Like, is this seems like not having an agent probably in this particular situation is turning out to be somewhat detrimental to him.
Yeah, my thing is this. Look, the NFL is a nasty business, okay? And these are billionaires. All 32 owners are billionaires. So they're going to play the hard game. They're going to play the long game. And so if you're going to want to go up against these billionaires, you're going to have a team that can do just that. Even if you don't want an agent, if you want to find someone that is completely good with litigation and contract review and such, because what we like to do is say, well, Roquan Smith did it without an agent. Roquan Smith had help, and Roquan Smith had a guy who literally he can do every single thing an agent do. He is just not listed as an agent by the NFLPA. He's just short of an agent in name only. Everything else he does exactly what the agents do. So that's very disingenuous when people say stuff like that. You need someone that is going to be able to vouch for you, to ride for you, because you don't have the experience on your side and you're going against a bunch of billionaires who are not interested in guaranteeing contracts fully to anybody, whether it's the quarterback, the running back, it doesn't matter. They're not interested in doing that. And you see that by the contracts that have come out since the Deshaun Watson contract. Oh, by the way, Deshaun Watson came out the other day and said he's willing to restructure the contract. So I'm interested in that too. But I just really think that Lamar needs someone on his side that has the experience to go up against the owners, that has the experience that can litigate for him to get the best deal for him. Because as of right now, the NFLPA is not really helping him in this situation.
Yeah. Jim Trotter was on yesterday with us when this news, like when we were reacting to it. And one of his takes or his opinions on this is that the Ravens don't really know how to react to this, because I think most people may have expected Lamar to fold by this point, because usually it's a lot of money anyway at some point. So like players just usually give in, and he's really standing on, I know my worth and I know my value and I'm not going to settle. And so, I mean, they're at a standstill. Like what's going to be the first domino to fall? Like, how's this impasse going to be broken?
I'm curious too, because you got guys like Joe Burrow, who has been to 2 AFC championships back to back, coming up. You got a guy like Justin Herbert who's coming up. You got a Jalen Hurts that they could potentially go to the table now and offer a contract for, who went to a Super Bowl. So if those three guys are not taking fully guaranteed contracts, I'm not really sure what Lamar's leg is going to be to stand on, because ultimately the owners are the ones that run this show, whether we like it or not. This is not me agreeing by any means. I would love Lamar to get whatever it is that he's asking for. I would love that. It just is not working that way. And unfortunately, the powers that be, the ones that have the money, are the ones that's moving the chess pieces on this board, not the players. And so that's the part that I think is extremely frustrating, is because I don't know how long this is going to be. Does Lamar even show up? Does he just sit this out and say, I'm not going to do this? But then you run the risk of we doing this all over again, because the Ravens have 2 consecutive years in which they can tag him. So, it will be interesting to see how this is moving forward. But as of right now, the owners seem to be in on not fully guaranteeing contracts and not playing the game of the high bidding war, because they themselves don't want to succumb to paying fully guaranteed contracts in the long run.
And you mentioned that you don't think this is necessarily like about Lamar, although an agent could help him, but you believe there's collusion. It's like this concerted effort. But is there any part of it about Lamar, just in terms of kind of his personality? He says a lot on social media. He has the injury history. Or is that just whatever? It doesn't matter because of the generational talent that he is. Those things shouldn't matter.
I mean, the thing is that if I'm a GM, I'm questioning the durability at this point, because you've missed games the last 2 seasons. And then the last season you were in a playoff hunt and you weren't able to. Again, this is not how I feel. If you get injured, you get injured. But if you're someone that is trying to pay someone, obviously that's going to come up. Health is going to come up. And you missed, I think, about 15 games or something within the last 2 years. That says a lot. And so that could absolutely be one of the things that's holding this situation back, which is the Ravens probably saying, okay, but we don't know if you can finish seasons anymore, because it's been 2 years in a row that's not happened. And Lamar can say, but my value to this team, because I've uplifted so many guys around me that of lesser talent, that I believe I should get this. And that's where we are. And so, yeah, I do wonder if a lot of this has to do with the health. I don't think that who he is as a person really does anything. I mean, we don't really hear, all we see is a lot of good images about who Lamar is and what he does in his community. And so I don't think that that's the issue. I do think that the main issue is his health and his durability and being able to complete seasons, because he's been unable to do that the last couple of years.
Okay. Well, I want to continue the Lamar conversation. We're going to bring in a friend. So let's go to break, and then we'll be right back to talk some more Lamar.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.